Things are coming along. Let's try this again, see where we can land. All right, so kind of messing around with the adjustment cable. Let's see. About as clean as it's gonna get. It's like the seal in there is pretty good. And what you can do, a little bit of silicone. Silicone's better than using oil. Snaps into place. Oops, gone the wrong way again. Like that. Okay. See how that lines up. Okay. Let's see, is that a 14 or a 12? Looks like it's 12. We got 12 millimeter out, if I'm not mistaken. What was I using it? Down here. Okay. Okay. BRB. Oh, all right, got the goods. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get that dialed in. Okay. So kind of stripped out. It's typically what happens when they're over tightened. Put a little bit of light duty, light strength Loctite or Honda Bond or whatever Honda calls theirs. Honda Lock. Okay. Let's see, we'll take that. See how easy and efficient this is. Okay, we're going to put the nut on. Looks like it's kind of bent. Feels like it's kind of bent. Should be good enough though. Okay. Actually feels pretty solid, not too loose, not too tight. Oh, throwing tools. I like these gloves, but they're just a little slippery sometimes. Okay. So, kind of clean this a little bit. Okay. Good to go. Here's my anti-seize. Put just a little bit. Anti-seize, like right there in the threads. Let's see. So probably a combination. This clutch cable is probably a little stretched out. We're going to put it as adjusted back as we can while having a little bit of at least 2 threads protruding. 2 to 3 threads is acceptable. You don't want to go any less than that. Let's kind of see where we're at right here. Yeah, so we still got about maybe like 3/8 of an inch. So go this way. All right, nice and tight. Should have enough for the boot, hopefully. Might be a little loose. This might just be how it is. I'm trying to think if I could put like a Loctite or a super glue or something without it bleaching onto the just a little cut hair of this right here. Bam. By that. Could be a combination of stretched clutch cable or worn out clutch. Spring set. The clutch springs will typically take a set. There's a bunch of reasons, the rod, everything, the throw out bearing, everything kind of wears, and that produces a lot of slack. So sometimes you can even replace the cable, but this looks like an original clutch cable, says made in Japan. So when in doubt, this clutch cable here is probably damn near 20 years old. But we're going to go ahead and max out the adjustment safely as possible. Kind of put just a tad bit of super glue to hold that boot in, minimize gunk and debris getting inside. It's the little things, you know, kind of preserves it over for the next couple of years until it fails. And, you know, that's typically what it is. If you service it right correctly the first time, you know, it can kind of get away with those things. So, all right, what else can we do? I know we need to do some electrical. This is probably trash. I like to check the gas tank. Bam, checked. Okay. So let's see where we're at here. So all depends. Usually about 3/16, just about under 1/4 inch of free play is what you want. Should be okay. We'll see what it feels like after the we heat up those clutches for the first time in a couple of years. But overall, OEM clutch lever looking nice. Never hurts to go OEM. OEM always feels pretty good, and I like where that's landing at right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the boot back on. Kind of clips in like that. Let's see this cover here. Kind of wipe it out a little bit. Ooh, it's kind of dirty. It's probably from all the grease that was in it. And what I'll go ahead and do, spray just a little bit of silicone. And there's also a little nub in here. If I wasn't mistaken, little nub. Let's see, that's going to go kind of where that is right there. The groove where the cable slides through. Find that nub. Okay, something like that. Kind of double check it, see where you're at. You don't want this thing too tight. You want a little bit of free play. About 1/16 to about 3/16, depending on your riding style, clutch use. Usually I like to set them to about 3/16. That way, you know, everything kind of wears regularly. But yeah, kind of like that. It looks pretty good. Might have to move this over here. Find out right meow. Whoa. I think I might need that actually. So we got some different hardware. It's like we're a little short on the screw. See what kind of hardware we're using. Ooh, that feels a little strippity strip. I hear text messages. Okay. Oh no, this thing. Hopefully, this thing isn't fucked. So just a little right there, right there. All right, cool. I think that's a 8mm. Is that 10? 8? Make sure these screws are long enough. not too bad. So I think I can leave that like that with a little bit of damage to it there. Shouldn't be a big deal. Let's see. So once I put these lock-on grips, these things are pretty fancy. Hold on. Ooh. Yeah, get a good look. They have white on them, so try to keep everything all nice and clean. Well, let's see. So glories are typically not alignment marks, but maybe in that position with the ridges facing down. So give or take, this right here should be facing. You can always adjust it. Ooh. Got any sharp burrs there? Can you loosen that up? Looks like it's sitting right there. Let's kind of clean that up. Maybe it has to be cleaned. Take, I think this is 600. We're going to go ahead and hold off on handlebar replacement at this time. Not super critical or necessary. All right, let's try that. See if that makes any of the difference, hopefully. All right, maybe I should match this up. I think it's, this is 2.5 millimeter. No, maybe a little bit more. What is this? Ah, so that was a 2. This is a 2.5. Okay, it's 2.5 millimeter. Huh. Damn. Is that like super deformed? I feel like I got that angle pretty well. Do I need to put down my purse? Ooh. It doesn't hurt having a tight tolerance fit. Let's take a look, see where we're at. Logo's pretty aligned. Yeah, it looks pretty good right there. Wow. Yep, nothing like a brand new set of grips. I wonder if I could actually clock those just a little, maybe just a cut hair more. How's that? Yeah, I think I like that position a lot better. Let's see, it has some, well, those are just the part numbers on the handlebars, but yeah, I guess with the ODI logo in the vertical or upright position makes more sense. So that should be good. One last final check. Make sure it's nicely torqued. Yeah, it's good. 2.5 millimeter. And I don't believe you have to touch it on the throttle side. The throttle tube and the grip are one assembly. And that's what makes these grips wonderful here. So we'll kind of get an idea. You can kind of clock them different positions. So I think it would go. So this is a throttle cam B. Technically, this isn't the correct one. It's supposed to use a throttle cam A for this particular bike, but it's very close. So I'm kind of curious how it might work. This is the pull side, and that's the return side. So the return side's slightly different in profile. It's a little oblong versus on the cam A. The pull cable hole is identical to the return, so slightly different. But that's going to go like, let's see. Yeah, maybe in the down position is what it looks like. Yeah, down position, just kind of seeing the bottom of that ridge there. So I kind of like that. It's pretty nice. But I don't know if it's going to work. We'll have to see. Okay. And then I kind of want to see where I put that Phillips. The Phillips screwdriver has probably disappeared along with the 10 millimeter. I was just using it momentarily ago. No, didn't use it in there. No, not inside the airbox. Is it hiding on the table? No, I thought we put away. No, don't have it in my pockets. Looks like I have misplaced the Phillips screwdriver. Son of a bitch. Not a big deal. Let's use a slightly different. Temporarily misplaced it. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so that screws just a little short, a couple millimeters short. Looks like I could possibly tap that, clean up those threads. What do I do with that Phillips screwdriver? I wonder if I left it in the garage. Sometimes I have a habit of doing that. I will pick up tools and move them to a different work area unintentionally. And let's see. Kind of hardware. So we are using, looks like same thing. No screwdrivers there. So I'm going to spray a little bit of lube on that to kind of break it up. Just because these are kind of a little rusty. Just kind of loosen up this hardware here. It's been a while. All right, so I also have a fuel line kind of want to do some electrical repairs. Let's see, while I have this off here, we're going to do some like basic electrical repairs. Kind of prep this, but this had some lights on it, which they do come with stock, but I've removed most of that. We're just going to kind of clean this up. That's where the kill switch used to go. New aftermarket ignition coil. We'll kind of clean up these wires here. That will be right after we figure out what's going on with the throttle. Because if we have to, I will order the correct cam, which according to the manufacturer, that's probably what's going to have to be done anyways. But I like to experiment and see what the difference is. I think I looked at this before. This one wasn't too messed up. I think I already cleaned this, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Don't want to touch those nasty grips with my hands. But I believe I already cleaned this. Not sure if I lubed them or not. So it's like the cam profile on this one's kind of like that too. Slightly oblong. Let's take a look, see. Yeah, it looks like I already cleaned this one. Okay, and basically I want to check for here. Cables go on the upper side. A little thick. Even no, it doesn't fit. Kinda. It's hella tight. Okay. So I don't think if we compare the original on M, those are 2 strokes, not B. What's this? Okay. Ooh. Here. That. It goes on this way up. Pops on. See how this fits. Interesting. So it'll be like that. That's supposed to be normal because that doesn't actually, that floats. So let's see here. So I go one more position. Let's see. No, I'll probably leave it just like that. This will probably be perfect. Okay, and It's like these screws are already in nice clean condition. Let's see here. I'm almost wondering, I think I already lubed the throttle cables. But we can always re-lube them again. Maybe I didn't. I know I cleaned them, but looking at them, I don't know if I actually lubed them. I didn't put any grease on the barrel ends here. I think that's because I anticipated replacing the throttle. So just for shits and giggles too, just to make sure there's no clearance issues. Always like to keep the grips nice and clean. Customer can make them dirty, but yeah, just like that. Sometimes it doesn't hurt to put just a little bit of silicone, very light layer of silicone. This one right here, I just put that MPPL. It's no worries, just prevents corrosion. You don't want to put too much so it collects dirt and grime, but it's okay to have a little bit on there. Okay, so this is gonna go. How is this gonna go? Figure it out right now. Over to cable lube. Let's see here.